Starting and running a crochet business is no small task. Take it from someone who literally knew nothing before jumping into a crochet business. Running a crochet business is both an art and a science requiring creativity, dedication, and the right tools to succeed. Over these past few years as a crochet business owner, I've come to learn different resources and tools that have helped me succeed in my business. So today, I wanted to share a little bit of my insights and talk about 8 of the most useful tools and resources that I use almost daily in my crochet business. But let's go ahead and dive into the tools that help me turn my passion for crochet into a flourishing business. So the first tool we're going to talk about is Canva, which is a free and easy to use graphic design tool. So I honestly don't know what I would do if I did not have Canva in my life for my business. I use Canva for so many different things like social media posts, creating flyers. I even have patterns in Canva that I use for different graphics and things like that. So there's really so many things you can do in Canva. If you're a pattern-based seller or a finished product-based seller, you really could use this for anything. So for example, what I have used Canva for in the past, I have created like Instagram posts. I've also created YouTube little snippets and clips. I have created flyers for my craft shows. So I've just created little flyers with either my information on it or a list of events for my next shows. I've used it to make signs for my craft booth. There's really so many different things you can use Canva for. Now, I do have the paid version because there are a little bit more features that you can use with the paid version than the free version. But if you just want a little taste of how Canva works, definitely check out the free version if you haven't already. And if you fall in love with it as much as I did, you're going to want to get the paid version because trust me, it is worth it. It is an expense every year. I think it's maybe like $120 a year. I'd have to double check on that. I'm not sure if the price has gone up since I've last renewed my yearly subscription, but trust me, it's worth it. I use it all the time in my business. One of my other favorite features in Canva is called Magic Write. So if you struggle with thinking of wording or I guess, for example, I use Magic Write to write my Etsy descriptions for Etsy or on my website. You can just type in the little Magic Write box what you want it to generate. So let's say I'm writing an Etsy listing. I can type out, write a detailed Etsy description discussing the Fall Flowers collection crochet pattern. And if you want to, you could put maybe use specific keywords if you're doing keyword research and you want specific keywords in your description. And then what I do is I will see what generates. If I don't like it, I might regenerate it. If I do like it, I'll go back in there and try to edit it to sound more like how I talk. But again, I use this feature all the time for all of my listing descriptions. I've used it for helping me think of captions on social media. So it's really a useful tool if you've never used anything like that before. But the other thing I love about Canva is how easy it is to convey my brand's message. So for example, Canva has a whole branding template that you can use where you can add the fonts that you use for your brand, the different color palette. So when I'm creating social media posts, I can just easily go in and pick all the colors that I always use for my business, all the same fonts. So everything looks very cohesive and people just know when they look at a certain font or a color, they know that that is coming from my business and it's not just some random, off the wall thing that doesn't fit my brand at all. So it's definitely something that I recommend doing if that's not something you've looked into, is figuring out who your target audience is. And this is probably honestly needs to be a whole nother video, but I really took the time to figure out what colors I thought would match my business and my message, what my target customer would want to see. And that's where I got all my fonts and my color palette that I use for almost all of my social media posts and online, all over in my patterns. So definitely you're going to want to use that feature as well if you are creating a brand for your business. Oh, and I forgot to mention, there's a huge library of photos, different graphics, design tools that you can use in Canva. So I know I've said this already a million times, but you're just going to want to have to go and check it out. The next tool that I use almost daily, and it helps me keep organized, is Trello. So if you find it difficult to stay organized in your business, and you're also collaborating with other people in your business, so for example, for all of my crochet patterns, I use a tech editor. I also have a virtual assistant. So Trello just makes it super easy to collaborate with different people within my business. I also love using Trello because this platform allows me to design detailed content calendars. So I have a dedicated content calendar for my Instagram. I also have dedicated content calendars for my blog and YouTube channel. I have a calendar for my email list. I mean, I have calendars for everything. You can also create to-do lists. I am a to-do list person. It is so satisfying when you check off and cross off something on your to-do list. I used to be writing down all of my to-do lists, and honestly, sometimes you lose the paper. I have a cat that likes to eat paper too, so sometimes the to-do list would just be all eaten up. So that didn't work for me. So I just love that I can easily access Trello on my phone. I can access it on my computer. Like I said, I can collaborate with other people within my business. So I do have a whole board set aside just for my virtual assistant / tech editor. So we can create little to-do lists in there. I can give her all of my information. I can attach PDFs. It just makes things so much easier than sending emails back and forth. So easy to communicate within Trello. So I currently have the free version of Trello. I have never personally used the paid version. Everything that I need is in the free version. But if anyone that's watching this video has used the paid version and has any other insights, I'd love to hear about it. I feel like I'm still navigating Trello, but so far I have loved it so much. I don't know what I would do without it. So most of us in our crochet business are more than likely not photographers. I am not a photographer. I have no experience in photography. So taking pictures and editing my pictures was definitely a struggle when I first started my crochet business. But I did discover an easy way to edit your videos and your photos with just a click of a button. If you have never heard of the Lightroom app, you're definitely going to want to check this out. It is a free photo editing app. I do pay for the paid version because you get a little bit more features with the paid version that I enjoy. So one of the best features in the Lightroom app is a thing called presets. Using presets allows you to easily streamline your editing process significantly, editing your photos and your videos with just one single click. So using presets, let's say, for instance, I take all of my pattern photos that I use in my patterns to show step-by-step tutorials on a white background. I don't have natural light in my basement, so I have artificial light that I use. So pretty much all of my pattern photos that I use within my patterns all look the same. So what I did is I went in and I edited one of my photos for my pattern, and I saved those edits as a preset for my pattern editing photos. So now all I have to do every time I take a photo for my pattern is just go in to edit my photo. I just hit preset. Once I hit preset, it just automatically applies all of the edits I made on my other pattern photo. And now I have this photo edited. Now, sometimes I might have to go in and just adjust things slightly, but for the most part, it's an easy way to edit your photos with just a single click. It makes things go so much faster. But for someone who's not really a tech-savvy person, I have found that this app is super easy to use. I really haven't had much difficulty with using it, and I think that the photo edits in this app are just great. So this app could be useful for both pattern designers who are looking to add pattern photos within their photos, or even handmade sellers who are looking to up their game on their photos for items that they're selling. So the fourth tool that we're going to be talking about is a email marketing platform. I first used MailChimp as my email marketing platform and I did not like it at all. I was on the hunt for a new email marketing platform and I discovered Flodesk. I have been using Flodesk for a little over a year now and I absolutely love it. It's so much easier to use than MailChimp in my opinion, and it has so many different features for automations, different templates you can use. And if you haven't already heard, email marketing is one of the best ways to reach your target customer. So growing your email list in a crochet business is an absolute must. It doesn't matter if you're a pattern designer or a handmade seller. With email marketing, you're talking directly to your biggest fans. You're definitely going to want to invest in an email marketing tool that helps spread your message and reach your audience while also promoting your products in a very professional looking way. But I love the different features that it offers and the different templates. I have created a whole folder with templates of different types of emails I send out. So just to show you, for example, I have emails for new products that are releasing, different announcement emails, templates. So literally all I have to do is just copy and paste those emails and I can just edit it to fit whatever email I'm sending out. Makes it things super easy. You can also set up automations within Flodesk. So for example, in all of my crochet patterns, I have a link that directly goes out to my email list sign up. As soon as people sign up for my email list in that form, they will get an automated email with the freebie or whatever else the sign up promises. And then they might also get an automated email a day or two later explaining what my business is and what they're getting involved with by signing up for my email list. There was a little bit of a learning curve to figuring everything out. I'm sure there's YouTube videos out there that can explain how to use Flodesk a little bit better, but I personally love it. I love how professional it makes my emails look. I love that it makes it easier for me to reach my biggest fans in my business. But if you are looking into an email marketing platform, I do have a link that I will leave down in the description that can get you 50% off your first year with Flodesk. Now, most of us in our crochet business probably do not have some type of accounting or financial experience, myself included. Not that I don't like that kind of thing. I mean, I guess it's probably not my favorite thing in my crochet business to track expenses and all of my finances. But if you're going to run a crochet business or if you have a crochet business, it is an absolute must to have some type of way to manage your expenses and your business books. Without it, you could seriously be losing a ton of money if you're not tracking your expenses. This is me just talking from experience as a US based designer and pattern seller. So if you are in a different country, or even if you're in the US, different states in the US are even different. You're going to want to look up and be diligent about how you are supposed to report your taxes, how you're supposed to report your business expenses. Please make sure you are paying your taxes if you are running a business. Register your business. Do things the legal way. So if you're already overwhelmed by me just talking about managing your business books, I was quite overwhelmed when I first was looking into managing my business expenses until I discovered Paper and Spark. Investing in Paper and Spark was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my business. Janet with Paper and Spark has accounting experience and she is geared towards helping handmade sellers just like you, just like me. She has a huge library of different spreadsheets that you can use to track all of your business expenses, all of your revenue that you make. So if you sell on Shopify, Square, Etsy, I think she's probably got a few more, but she's got all of the major spreadsheets for you to help track your expenses. They're super easy to use. I know my accountant loves them because every time she sees how I organize all my expenses, she's very happy. It makes doing my taxes so much easier. The headache of doing my taxes at the end of the year is taken away. I currently sell on Shopify and Etsy. I used to sell on Square. So I have 3 of those spreadsheets. I have the Shopify spreadsheet, the Etsy spreadsheet, and the Square spreadsheet. You can buy all of those spreadsheets for a pretty reasonable price. and you can just keep reusing them year after year, creating a new one for each year. She has great tutorial videos on her YouTube channel. She's got written instructions on how to use all of the spreadsheets. They are all in Excel, so they're super easy to use. I think you can also use the Apple version as well. I use Excel for all of my spreadsheets, but it makes my books so much more organized. All I have to do is just once a month, I will go in and track all of my expenses that I had for that month and add in all the revenue. You literally can just copy and paste things. It only takes me a few hours each month, which is so much better than before. I think my first year in my crochet business, I made the horrible mistake of waiting until the end of the year to do all of my business books. And I think I cried a few times. It was absolutely terrible. So learn from my mistakes and definitely do not do that. You're going to want to make sure that you are managing all of that throughout the year. But seriously, if you have never heard of Paper and Spark, you're going to want to check her out. I will leave a link down below for you to check out her website with all of the different things she has to offer. She also has different resources on her website. I've attended a few of her series that she offers online where I learned a lot about taxes. I will say she talks mainly within the US. So if you're outside the US, I'm not sure. She might have some resources for you as well, but she is a US based business, so most of her content is geared toward US taxes. But trust me, you're going to want to check her out. Even if you just need some extra resources on how to file your taxes or what you even need to track, she offers free educational videos all the time. Or if you're just looking to purchase some spreadsheets, she has all of her spreadsheets available online as well. So either way, if you're not yet managing your books or you're struggling, you're definitely going to want to head over to her website and see what she has to offer. So this next resource is one that probably everyone has heard of and probably most of us already use, but I had to talk about it just because I had a terrible experience that happened to me recently, and I just want to make sure no one else goes through this because it was horrible. But anyway, so if you don't already use Google Drive, you're going to want to use this for your business. It is a safe way to back up all of your files in one place that you can easily access on the internet from anywhere. So if you have multiple devices that you use, probably most people do, you can easily access any of your files from anywhere on your phone, computer, laptop, iPad. So you can get 15 gigabytes of free storage on your Google Drive, which is actually quite a bit. And then you can pay, I think I pay for Google Workspace, which is about $10 a month. So it's really not that much. You can write that off as a business expense. So you can add a lot of stuff to the Google Drive before you even run out of storage. But just a little story time here. So previously, I was saving all of my, or at least not all of them, but most of my files and my photos on my iPhone, which was backing up to my iCloud. Well, one day I was on my phone and for whatever reason, I had been logged out of my iCloud. So as I was trying to attempt to log back in, it wouldn't let me. I called the Apple service desk people, and they told me that my iCloud was deactivated. They could not tell me a reason. I literally freaked out because basically I lost everything on my iPhone that I had backed up in my iCloud. I lost my contacts. I lost all my photos. I was in tears because literally all of my photos that I have taken of all my products were on my iCloud and they just disappeared because I could not get access to my iCloud. They wouldn't give me access back. They said I had violated some terms of service, but they couldn't tell me what. So I was panicking. I basically had to take all of my stuff that was on my iPhone and back it up to my Google Drive because the only option they basically gave me was factory resetting my phone and having a whole new Apple iCloud set up because they would not reactivate my old iCloud. It was a huge mess. So my husband and I had to take days to save all of my stuff on my iPhone onto the Google Drive. And then the cherry on top, after all of this had occurred, and this was probably like a month-long process of arguing with Apple to try and get my iCloud reactivated. and they would just not budge. And I just slowly was starting to back things up on my phone because I had a lot. Like I have probably 4,000 photos on my phone, and saving all my contacts and everything, just making sure so when I factory reset my phone, I didn't lose everything. Well, like a month later, I just randomly noticed that my iCloud was back up and running again for no apparent reason. They had given me so much trouble and would not reactivate my iCloud. So I don't know what happened, but it got reactivated, thankfully, so I didn't end up losing everything. But now I have everything saved to my Google Drive just in case that does ever happen again. So learn from my mistakes and save all of your important documents, your photos for your business in a second location, because I have heard of this same horror story happening with other people as well. Like for instance, I had someone tell me this same thing happened to them with their Verizon cloud. So just learn from my mistake and make sure to save all of your important stuff in a second location. Google Drive is a great way to save it. You never know what could happen. So it's just better to be safe than sorry. So I know we kind of already started talking about tracking our finances with Paper and Spark, but if you are a handmade seller selling at craft shows, or even if you're a pattern designer and you're driving to and from the craft store to get yarn, you're going to want to have a way to track your mileage. Now, before I discovered this app, I was tracking my mileage just by writing it down. It was not great. I think I had tracked it in the Notes app on my phone. Not a very effective way to track your mileage. So when I discovered Stride, which is a mileage tracking app, I was super happy. It has made things so much easier. So within the Stride app, which I have it downloaded on my phone, you can either use the feature to track your mileage in real time. So if you know you're going to be driving to a craft show, let's say, you can start the tracking in the app and then stop it as soon as you make it to the craft show, and it will automatically document how many miles you drove in that trip. Now, if you're like me and you forget to start the little thing in the app, you can go back in later and just look up how many miles you drove to and from whatever place you went to, and then just add it into the app. And it will keep track of how many miles you went throughout the year. Makes it so much easier to write that off as an expense when it comes to be tax time. And the last tip I could not go without mentioning, just because you probably already have used this because you're using it right now, but one of the biggest resources and tools that I have found helpful in my crochet business has been YouTube. So I feel like I've probably talked about this before, but I actually learned how to crochet from YouTube videos. So I wouldn't even be where I am right now if I wouldn't have taken the time to watch simple tutorials on YouTube. But YouTube has so many different things to offer, from tutorials, different crochet tips or business tips, just like a video like this, product recommendations or yarn recommendations. There's really so much that YouTube has to offer. It's such a great resource. You could probably find anything that you might need or have a question about on YouTube. What I also love about YouTube is that community that it helps facilitate among other crocheters. So I am a relatively new YouTuber. This is still all new to me, but I have loved all of the positive feedback that people have given me. It has been such a joy to get to know some different YouTubers in the crochet community and connect with others in the community as well. I mean, there are so many of us that are online now in the crochet community. We're all over the world. It's such an amazing tool to connect with people from all walks of life. So although we've only talked about 8 different tools that you could use in your crochet business, there are a whole slew of different valuable tools that you could use. So if you currently own a crochet business and you have other suggestions for people, definitely make sure to put those in the comments below. I always love learning and growing, so if we can help others learn and grow in their business, that's definitely one of my goals. But I hope that you found this video helpful and has given you some other ideas on how you can improve and organize your crochet business. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more business tips in the future. Thank you all so much. I hope that you have a great week, and as always, happy crocheting. Bye everyone.